All right. It's another day, another lawsuit for Gervonta Davis. This time, $500,000 for a bounce check for some jewelry. Really, really nice jewelry. But Gervonta, dog, you got to pay. This, I swear to goodness, dog, is publicity for this guy's fight against Leo Santa Cruz. Let's talk about Gervonta Tank Davis, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Adrien Broner, and the art of drama makes sales. Now, I don't think that the man bounced the check on purpose, but dude, come on, man. This is just, it's every time. But let's talk about that and get on Gervonta a little bit about bouncing checks in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. So Gervonta Davis is definitely a guy that gets painted as the bad guy by the media. You see, him getting charged a couple years ago for an assault against somebody in his gym in Baltimore. So the thing was like, Gervonta, stop training in Baltimore, okay? Then he has an issue with his girlfriend. Not going to go over what happened with the girlfriend. Suffice it to say, dog, that was a bad look. But Gervonta Davis just keeps it going. Hey, man, he just bumps over that like whatever. This is boxing. Come on, man. Sergey Kovalev did a whole bunch of craziness, and he only got, and that never affected his fight. So don't expect for it to hold up Gervonta Davis. But at a certain point in time, man, okay, the media can cast you as a bad guy, but at a certain point, dog, I think that you might be selling the image as well, right? Kind of like, there's never going to be a time where they're going to love me if I act right, if I do what's right, if I'm nice and I don't get in trouble, and right? I'm not going to get any press. If I don't get any press, then people aren't going to pay attention to me, right? So, yeah, I know that I'm kind of screwing up legally, but hey, man, it kind of works for the press, right? At this point in time, dog, it's starting to look like Gervonta Davis might have that viewpoint, man, but it is really, really a bad look because at a certain point in time, you might be, posing as the bad guy, but eventually when you actually become the bad guy, you're going to start having to deal with some of them ramifications, and the ramifications aren't going to be worth the benefit that you get in the boxing ring. It's just not. Living that doing that stupid shit, just come on, man. But anyway, let's get into the facts here so you know what I'm talking about. All right, so November 19th, Davis asked somebody to manufacture and deliver some high-end, valuable jewelry, specifically one diamond tennis chain, a custom tank charm with emeralds and diamonds, and a watch that was custom set with diamond baguettes. The value of the requested jewelry was $486,671.25, including taxes. Davis promised that if the jewelry was manufactured to him, he would pay the invoiced amount of $486,000, right? Then Davis asked the guy who made it to fly out for him to show him the jewelry, and then he wrote a check, and then the check bounced, right? So now the guy is saying, look, man, you wrote me a bad check for a $500,000 piece of jewelry. Give me my $500,000, and he takes him to court, right? Now here's the thing. First thing, guy that brought him $500,000 worth of diamonds. Do you ever heard of a down payment? Just wondering. Have you ever said, this is going to be a $500,000? I need 200,000 of it up front. Or I need 100,000 of it up front before I start making it. And once you give me that 1/4 of it, then I will make it, because I know that if you do not pay me my 400,000 or my 500,000, I'm going to keep your 100,000 because you put this deposit down and it is a non-refundable deposit. I am going to spend this $100,000 rebuilding this diamond necklace or whatever this crap is into something that I can resell. But you're out your $100,000. Otherwise, I'm not going to be putting it on. So my first question is, when I read this, I was like, dude, Eliante, fuck wrong with you, man? Get a deposit. Why would you do all that? Why would you get all of that, make all of that, and then not charge any money? Then you show up with him and deliver it. He takes it from you and he bounces a check. Dude, what are you, a Domino's pizza man? Dude, Domino's doesn't even do that anymore, man. Domino's ain't taking cash at your door and checks. Dude, you better do a debit card or a credit card or something where it can be declined. You know what I'm saying? Declined. And if it gets declined on your end. And I mean, if it gets declined, and I keep my stuff. Okay? And if it bounces, I still keep my money. They ain't going to come get my money. They're just going to be on you and messing up your credit. What is all that about? So I do believe, again, that this is a little bit of just nonsense. It's almost like, are you sure you guys aren't like suing each other just so that you can make sure that you make the newspaper over some drama? Like, why are you bouncing $500,000 checks? And why is the guy taking $500,000 checks? It just doesn't make sense. I deal with $500,000 deals and $1 million deals all the time. It's like, I mean, that's a lot of money, but it's not that. I mean, it's a lot of money. But I would never give you, what is that $500,000 chain worth? It's probably worth what, $70,000 in raw materials or something. Who knows what it is? $70,000 in raw materials or whatever, $100,000 in raw materials. Anyway, man, I don't understand any of that because all you guys buying that jewelry stuff makes sense to me. I was always thought that girls wore all that stuff. But hey, man, that ain't, that's just me. Old school for 9. But anyway, intentional or not with this stuff, because I am starting to think like, come on, man. Like Adrien Broner missing court dates, like right before he announces that he's coming out for a fight, right? Like, why are you missing court dates? Well, if I miss the court date, it is press. You know what I mean? And hey, it might cost me an extra, X in lawyer fees, but I'll get at least that much in the press that's coming back. If this is what these guys are actually thinking, you guys are morons. It's not worth it. Like, eventually, you're going to get caught up in some of that foolishness. And when you get caught up on something, right? When you get caught up on something, but this is not something you're playing around with, and you're more open to letting slide because you're going to win either way it goes. Dog, when you're in a lose-lose situation and they go look at all the other stuff that you did that you overlooked and didn't take care of, dude, that stuff is going to hit you, man. So it's just, it's a bad look for Gervonta in a couple ways. I don't believe, though. Well, I'm not going to say I don't believe, because kids will do really, 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 really dumb things. Okay, yeah, he's 25 years old. The idea of a 25-year-old kid bouncing a $500,000 check, it's like, dude, that's why God intended for most 25-year-olds not to have a $500,000 check, right? For somebody to believe that the money was there. But even then, dog, it's still on Elante, dog. I'm still like on the jewelry guy. Like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? But Gervonta Davis, I'm sure that this thing is going to turn and become a good situation for Gervonta Davis in that, it gives people opportunities to make videos about him, to talk about him, to keep his name out there so he can, so people buy this pay-per-view at the end of the month. And I'm quite sure he'll make enough money, right, to pay back the jeweler. But before I conclude this, just think about this. Gervonta Davis is saying, man, we're in this gym, or boxers say this, we're in the gym, we're risking our lives, and people don't appreciate us, right? This is a really dangerous sport. And all of that is true, right? But Gervonta Davis ain't going to get more than $2 million out that fight, okay? You're not going to make more than $2 million. That $2 million is, say he makes $2 million. It's a pay-per-view. But say he winds up getting to $3 million. $3 million for that fight. With $3 million in that fight, and say that's the only fight you have this year, you cannot afford that necklace, which is why your check bounced. And again, Elante, or whatever your name is, dude, you know how much money the guy's making every year. He does not have enough money to afford a $500,000 chain. He doesn't. Because if you have a $700,000 car, because he has $700,000 cars, if those are actually his cars, and he's not, we say capping, if those are his cars, those are new cars I've seen him in. And that is at least $1 million worth of stuff I've seen him buy this year, if he's really buying. Why would you believe that a guy that makes $2 million a year actually, and you've seen him spend 1.5, would have the money to pay you? And he's 25 years old, dude. This guy is recklessly irresponsible. But see, that is what Alante was hoping. He was hoping that Gervonta Davis would be recklessly irresponsible and pay him a ungodly amount of money for something that, first of all, is kind of ugly. And I'm just telling y'all that gaudy ass jewelry is not that attractive, dog. It's shiny and it does show you that you have a lot of money, that you've spent a lot of money. But dog, if y'all really want to look like y'all got some money, dude, dress like the guys that got money. The people that you would never know walk through the room. Because trust me, I know dudes, I know people got more money than all of y'all. And you would never know it when they walk right down the street. Except for, you will know it from the fear in the eyes of everybody else that's around them. When they walk through the room, you be like, oh yeah, that's that dude. But you're not going to know it based on shiny rocks hanging off of his neck. That's not how it works. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Gervonta, pay your bills. It is what it is. Much love in the chat. Thank you to everybody that supports in the Patreon as channel members. Subscribe, like, and share. And with that, I'm out. Peace.